Hello! So, for the past few days, I've been working on my lava dispenser or lava vending machine that I first showed in my Let's Play series, but I wanted to publish it as a technical showcase. It's not done yet, though, and the reason for this is that just after I published the Let's Play episode, Boyan actually looked at the mechanism I was using for moving this piston feed tape forward. He came up with a much better mechanism that was, well, much faster. So it would allow this piston feed tape to move much faster. So the way this would work is that you're standing here, right, and you're just getting new buckets of lava that you can fill. That's it. Not a very complicated machine. And the thing is, he improved this so much that now I have a problem where I can't really get the timing right between rotating this piston feed tape and rotating the large piston feed tape where we are actually refilling all the lava. And in fact, I had to slow it down by adding these two observers here. And I'm still working on trying to remove these two observers so that this thing can go at full speed. I still have not tried everything, but I have tried most of the things. And, well, I just realized that in the process of designing this and trying different things, I came up with tons and tons of small components which are just scattered everywhere here, and I've been designing them to try to solve various problems or solve the problems in different ways. And I'm pretty sure I will never use any of those, and it would be a shame if they were just completely forgotten because they're quite neat. They're probably known already, but why not? So let's go to a different world where I copied these over and let's look at all the little weird components that I have been trying to develop to solve various problems. And the first thing that I ended up not using is this fantastic thing. So this thing here is a trapdoor bud that is also used to send a signal through a scaffolding. So it works like this, and most of these I have set up so that we can hear what's going on. And I just find it most useful, especially since I'm staring at this block here when clicking it, and I can't really see what's going on. But let's try to get a good angle and just see and hear what's going on. So we can look at this trapdoor here, and every time I send a signal through the rail, the trapdoor flips up or down. And because the trapdoor flips up or down, that removes a supporting block from under this scaffolding, and that updates all these scaffoldings, and it updates them one game tick apart. So this scaffolding trick is what I like to use to avoid having problems with most redstone components having a delay that is a multiple of 2. So observers react after 2 ticks, repeaters have a 2-tick resolution, and stuff like that. And with this, we can actually get a 1-tick resolution on our timing. And I was messing around with timing in the piston feed tapes. That didn't help. But I think this is a very, very neat mechanism. And it works like this. So this is a trapdoor. It is now powered. If I place a target block here, you can see that this redstone dust is no longer touching the trapdoor, but it still thinks it's powered. But if we update the trapdoor, bam, it's no longer powered. But if we now remove the target block, this should be powered, but isn't, so we just have to update it to tell it that, hey, you're actually powered now. And this is a nice bud, and it has another advantage, is that when doing this whole trapdoor thing, look at what happens up here. If the pulse is too short as we send into the trapdoor, only the first scaffolding reacts. And that's definitely not something that we want. So flipping the trapdoor between 2 different states definitely helps. Really like this mechanism. Ended up not using it, but it was useful for debugging at least. And the way it works is, well, we have the trapdoor bud, just like I showed there. And then we also have an observer looking at the trapdoor, and every time something happens to the trapdoor, the observer uses the sticky piston to punch this target block back and forth. So now the trapdoor should be powered, but if we look at it with mini HUDs up in the left corner, you can see that the trapdoor thinks it is powered. So update it, and now it just flipped because it thinks it's powered, so we depowered it by putting the target block here. The problem can be with building this, so you can end up in a situation where you placed a rail like this here and updated the trapdoor. That is... Okay, let's build it like this. Oh, now you updated the trapdoor. Now it's time to put in the sticky piston. You put in the sticky piston, and nothing happens. So you have to make sure that the slime and the target block are in the right position. So sometimes when you're building this, you need to do this manually. And now it's back to being stable. The next mechanism that I accidentally invented, I don't know if I invented it, this is probably super known, but it is a budded sticky piston that gets zero ticked. Just look at that. That's an armor stand, and yeah, we are zero ticking for real. So what's going on here? Let's actually add a clock here. It shouldn't hurt. No, it works fine with a clock, so we can see what's going on. What's going on is that... Actually, we cannot see what's going on. And we also broke it. Okay, so don't clock this too fast. I don't really understand these mechanisms too well. I just messed around with them. Clearly, you can't clock this too fast. Don't know why. Be careful. With all these components, use them at own risk because, well, I am not using them in a big machine, so they are not thoroughly tested. So let's add back this. I usually put blocks over my note blocks so we don't hear the noise. Anyway, the way this works is that this block of redstone is powering both these pistons with quasi-connectivity, but they don't know about it, the usual. So the rail here will update both of these pistons, and I am not sure if the order of updates makes sense. We will actually test this in a second. I just came up with another component we can add to this collection just to test one thing. We'll get there in a second. Anyway, this rail updates both these pistons. So this piston pushes this block of glass and this block of redstone up. This piston also got updated and started extending, but we remove the power source pretty much immediately, and something, and I don't know what, updates this piston. Maybe the glass block moving, or maybe this piston extending updates this sticky piston, and that gives us a zero tick. It's a very reliable zero tick. And here I just tried a different method for resetting, because the reset happens by this observer powering this piston, pushing everything back after a small delay. And this is just a different method for resetting. Works fine too. And here I'm just testing if this is directional, and it doesn't seem to be. So it works in that direction. It works in that direction. Kind of hard to see, maybe there. And it works in this direction too. And the thing I said I would test, and let's see if this works with dust rather than rails. There is a difference in the order in which things update, so maybe there is some difference. Let's see. Armor stand. Does this zero tick? This also zero ticks, so you don't have to use rails, you can use dust as well. Now we know that. The next contraption is just me experimenting with zero ticking. Well, there are zero ticks. I'm pretty sure I have seen this in the past. I've no idea where. It was a long time ago, but I've seen something with a piston and sand on top of the piston to generate zero ticks, and this seems to work. And I have no idea where I've seen it and when. But it does only work in east to west. Doesn't seem to work north or south. I've tried that, doesn't work. But maybe this is useful for someone. As you can see, we are zero ticking these blocks. And the next two contraptions have nothing to do with zero ticking, but they have to do with long rail lines and sending signals through them. One of the ways I was trying to solve the issue is that since I'm not rotating the big piston feed tape on the lava dispenser that often, I was thinking maybe I should only slow down the machine the time we are only rotating the big wheels. So have it work fast on most rotations, and then every 12th rotation we would slow it down by 2 ticks. But it turns out that it's actually kind of hard to add a programmable delay into a rail. Actually, it's easier to with a rail than redstone dust, but we'll get to that in a second. So, listen to this. You can hear 2 tones at the same time. Now, if we pull this rail down, instead of getting powered, so this is the immediate mode, no delay mode, and the rail is just continuous, right? So this observer observes this rail, and this observer observes the rail here, so we can hear 2 different tones. And once again, same tone. Now if we pull it down, this rail will get powered by this block after a 2-tick delay. And it should be pretty clear that the tones come at slightly different times, 2 ticks apart. And we can just push this back in, and the tones come at the same time. And I actually like this a lot. It's very, very compact and practical. Actually practicable, usable. The problem is I haven't tried this in my contraption yet because my rail is on all the time because it's a falling edge detector. It's not just a rail for sending a signal. It also doubles as a falling edge detector. And it has to be on. And this only works when we are using the rail coming on as a signal and not rail coming off as a signal. So unfortunately, I can't use it, but this is so neat that I definitely want to show it to people because, hey, maybe you can use it in something where you have that kind of a problem. For redstone dusts, I can't do it with moving one block, because here we're just moving this slime. Well, here we're also just moving this slime, but the slime has a lot of stuff connected to it. So the way it works here is, let's just listen. This is with delay. And then we pull those 2 blocks out, and it's without delay. So without delay, we just get dust here, and it powers the 2 note blocks. And with delay, so we push it in, this dust here gets cut off by this block, and the repeater here sends the signal to this side. I kind of don't like it. It's bulkier. The rail one is very neat. You can actually make it 1 wide, probably. Yeah, you could. Like, there is no reason not to. But this also works. Anyway, that's all I had. There is no farm video this week because, well, I'm still working on the lava dispenser and I'm kind of deep into it, and I want to have the fastest possible version. I don't want to release a crippled version if I can avoid it. Maybe I can't. Maybe what I'm trying to achieve is impossible, but I still have a few tricks I need to try. So for now, here is just my collection of kind of weird but potentially useful components that maybe someone will find a use for. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a good observing. Bye!